In this lecture, we will study about CSS selectors. Okay, like what are CSS selectors? CSS selectors are those like which selects the particular class or or any attribute to style particular element. Suppose here when we give a paragraph, okay. Suppose we have to select this element, okay. So we write our internal CSS inside style tag, okay. So when we are targeting this p, okay, so we write here p, and then we write the styling property inside this paragraph tag, okay. So this p here is called a selector, okay. These are simple selectors, okay. Like when we target it by its tag name, they are simple selectors. Like when we target p, we target div, okay. We target it like this, okay. You can also give it a name. You can also target it by its ID or by its class name, okay. So you can target by its tag name, its class name, okay. You can target both both, okay. Suppose here we'll give suppose color of green, and suppose here we'll give a light green, okay. Suppose here we'll give a paragraph. Here I will write a div, okay. So we are targeting this paragraph and this div. So these are called selectors, okay. Now we'll refresh it. See, our paragraph is of green color and our div is of light green color, okay. So we can target it by its tag name. Let's suppose we'll target it by its class name, okay. So target it by its class name, okay. So we'll we'll remove it and we target it by its class name, okay. So here class name is para, okay. So we target the class name by dot, okay. Here we are providing the class name as para, so we are selecting, we are giving the para, and we are giving a dot because it is a class, okay. So we'll refresh it and see no changes there, okay. So we have provided the green color to our paragraph, okay. So here our paragraph is of green color. We can also target it by its ID. Suppose we'll give it ID. Suppose anything. Suppose we are giving a main ID, okay. So we'll suppose here we target the ID by hash and then the name of the ID, main, okay. Here we have given the ID as main, okay. So we are targeting this ID by hash. We target all the IDs by hash and then the ID name, okay. So here we have given the color as light green. So we'll save it and refresh it. See, our div is of light green color, okay. Now suppose we want to target, like suppose we'll add another sub element, okay, child element. Suppose add p, okay. Then we will add a div. Inside this I will add a p. Then outside that I will also add a p. Suppose, okay. There we can write child element of class para. Okay, here we can write child element of div. Here we can write it is also a child element of this paragraph. Okay. Another child element of para. Okay. Suppose we are providing this HTML code here. Okay. So let's save it. Okay. Providing a div. Okay. See, there are three paragraphs. Okay. Now we want to target like we want to target all the. Suppose here I will add a div. Okay. Div here. Also provide a div. Okay. So I have added a div instead of a paragraph. To save it. So here see our all the elements here has turned to green. Why? Because I have given para to we have provided green color to this div. Okay, and all the elements here are child elements of this div. So it converts all the child elements all the child elements of this div to green color. Okay, suppose we want like remove it. Suppose remove. Suppose we can also write. Suppose we want to target all the p. Okay, all the paragraphs inside this div. Okay, suppose we want to target all the paragraphs inside this div. Okay, so we can write div. Okay, or you can target it by its class name also. Here we will target by the tag name. Okay, the here we have provided div and then we have provided the p tag. Okay, means this gap means we are selecting all the paragraphs inside the div, whether it is a child element or it is not a child element. Okay, so see, this is not the child element of this div. Okay, this is the child element of this div. Okay, suppose we will provide a here dot para. We'll target it by its class name. Okay, because two divs are there. Here one div is also there. Here one div is also there. Okay, we'll target it by its class name. Okay, suppose we are providing this styling. Okay, so let's see. Suppose we are providing a color to green. Same. Then all paragraphs will turn to green color because all these are child elements of this para class. Okay, whether it is a child element or not a child element, all the paragraphs of this div class equals to para will turn to green color. Okay, so let's refresh it. See, all the child elements of this div class equals to para are now turned into green color except this class, this div, because we haven't provided dot para as green color. We have provided dot para and paragraph we have provided. This space between this para and P, this indicates that it is selecting all the elements inside this para class. Okay, all the paragraphs, whether it is a child element or not a child element. Okay, suppose we want to target only the child elements, like this is the child element of this paragraph and this is the child element of this paragraph. This is not the child element of this para. Okay, so we can target like this. Suppose we are writing para and we will add a greater sign, greater than sign. Okay, then we'll put the paragraph tag and then we'll style it. This means that it is targeting all the paragraphs that is the child element of this div class. Okay, means that it will only select this paragraph and this paragraph because it is the child element of this class. Okay, this div class. Okay, now suppose we'll comment it out and color as green. Okay, so we'll save it. We'll see the difference. See, only this element and this element has now turned to green because this is the direct, this is the child of this div class. Okay, and this is not the child element of div class. This div class equals to para. See, first paragraph is the child element and the third paragraph is the child element. Second paragraph is not the child element, so it is not selected here. Okay, see, first and third are of green color and the second is of black color, which is the default color, means it is not selected. Okay, so you can target, like you can target the child element by this with the help of this selector, greater than selector. Okay, it helps you to direct, it helps you to target only the child elements of that particular div or anything, like, or any elements you are providing. Suppose uh, we want to, like we want to also, suppose we want to target, like here we are providing suppose one paragraph. Suppose adjacent of div. Okay, adjacent of div. Okay, suppose we are writing this div. Okay, here, and we want to target this p. We don't want to directly target it by its class name a or by its tag name. Okay, we want to take help of this div. Okay, so how can we target it? Okay, so you can also, like you can also mention the class name of this div. Okay, this div you have to target and you will use a plus sign. Okay, and then what you have to select after this div means adjacent to this div all the elements. Okay, whether it is a child element or not a child element. Okay, no, it will only select only the adjacent, means only the first adjacent element of div. Okay, suppose we are providing like this. Okay, suppose we'll turn the color as yellow and we'll provide one more paragraph, another adjacent. Okay, so this line will only select the first adjacent paragraph, okay, which is this paragraph. Okay, suppose we have saved it. Now we'll refresh it and see it only targets the first adjacent paragraph of this div. Okay, see here this paragraph is only the adjacent only adjacent to this div class equals to para. This is not the closest adjacent. Okay, this is the this is just adjacent to this div class. Okay, so it is not selected here. See, another adjacent of div is not of yellow color, only adjacent of div. Okay, suppose we want to select all the elements which are adjacent to this div class equals to para. So for that, HTML provides a selector para and then this sign. Okay, this is the then we'll type press shift and then we'll use the exclamation. It is beside the exclamation mark means 1. Okay, we'll hold shift and we'll press that key. Okay, suppose we'll select the p, all the p. Okay, suppose we'll give a color to light sky blue. Okay, see now what it will do, that it will select all the adjacent paragraphs. Okay, all the adjacent paragraphs that are adjacent to div. Okay, suppose we'll refresh it. See, these two are adjacent to this div. Okay, so it has changed to light sky blue. Okay, this selector, what it does, that it selects all the elements. Okay, it selects all the elements that are adjacent to this dot para class. Okay, here dot para class, two adjacent elements are there. Dot, see, this p and this p. Okay, suppose we'll add something here like another adjacent. Okay, now let's see this. Suppose we'll remove this green color. Okay, remove this. See, this is not targeting this paragraph. Why? Because it is inside this div. It is not adjacent. It is not adjacent to this div. Okay, it only selects those elements which are directly adjacent to this dot para class. Okay, not the child element, only the parent element. Okay, it will select only the parent element. This p and this p is the parent element. Okay, this p is the child element of this div, so it will not select. Okay, so these are the four, here you can comment it out. See, these are four selectors. Okay, one is this space between the para and p. It means that it selects all the elements, whether it is a child element or not a child element. It will select all the paragraphs of dot para class, that is inside dot para class. Okay, this greater than sign selector means it will only select that paragraph which is the child element of this dot para class. Okay, this plus p plus this plus selector will only select those elements with those first element which are just adjacent to this dot para class. Okay, only the first adjacent, and this selector, what it does, that it selects adjacent all adjacent elements that are next to dot para class. Okay, so you can like differentiate between like this selects all the paragraphs. Okay, this select only the selected only the child elements of this dot para class. It selects this plus selector only selects first adjacent to this dot para class. This selector selects all the adjacent elements that are next to this dot para class. Okay, so these are the four selectors. More are there, we'll study bit by bit. Okay, so these are called combinator selectors. Okay, one is pseudo selectors. Okay, we have studied about pseudo selectors, like suppose, let me just comment it out. Okay, understanding. We'll comment out all the styling and all the HTML elements. Suppose we write a link. Okay, any link doesn't matter, and we suppose give it a name. Okay, and we'll add a class. Suppose. Okay, you can also target it by this a tag, anchor tag. Okay, but we are providing a class. Here we'll add anything. Okay, I have provided a class name. Okay, here mention anything. We'll provide a hash. That means it is the default, means it will return to the home page. Okay, so I have given this line. Okay, now we'll refresh it. See, this is the default color of this home. Okay, see one thing, when we are hovering the cursor, it changes into a pointer. Okay, so means this is a link. Okay, you can also add it manually by adding the style property as cursor to pointer. Okay, but in this link, but the default hovering of the link is the cursor to pointer. Okay, so we want to, when we want to change the color when we hover onto this link. Okay, so we'll use pseudo selector. Okay, suppose we want to target this link. Okay, so we'll target it by anchor, and then we'll provide, see here various options are coming. Okay, these all are selectors. Okay, so we are choosing hover, and we'll give a anything. Suppose the color is blue, we'll suppose the default color is blue. Now we'll change it to light green. Suppose upon hovering. Okay, so upon hovering we have changed the color to light green. So now let's refresh it, and now hover onto this thing. See, when we are hovering, the color is changing to light green. Okay, so this is called, this this colon here is called pseudo selector. Okay, means that we can target, many pseudo selectors are there. I'll tell you, like suppose we are commenting this out. And suppose, okay, we'll comment out these dips also. Okay. Now here we have three paragraphs. Okay. Now we'll add pseudo selector. Okay. Suppose we want to select only this paragraph. Okay. We want to target the paragraph, but we only want to target its first child. Okay. Suppose we'll change the text. Here we'll write first child, write second child, then we'll write last child. Okay. We'll save it, and here we'll add a styling. Okay, with the help of pseudo selectors. Okay, so we are targeting paragraphs. Okay, so we'll write paragraph and then a colon, that is a pseudo selector. Okay, see here we'll use this first child property and suppose we style it. Okay, suppose here we'll give a color light slate gray. Okay, then we'll save it, then see the changes. Okay, see our first child has only been selected. Okay, here we have only selected the first child. Okay, so only the first child paragraph, only the first paragraph is now selected. Is the color changed to light slate to gray? Suppose we want its last child. Okay, one last child property is also there. Okay, and we use light child, last child, and we'll change the color to like lime. Okay, save it. The last child is this paragraph. Okay, see here we aren't getting any changes. Here the last child is not converted to lime because see here our last child is this A. Okay, and we have provided the last child as color lime. Okay, so when we comment it out, suppose when we comment it out and save it and we'll refresh it, see now our last child is T. Okay, so it has converted to color lime. Okay, suppose when you are providing the last child. Okay, so you have to keep in mind that the last child is your paragraph. Okay, suppose there will give anything, suppose, okay, and save it, then the last child is this paragraph. Okay, so when we refresh it, see our last child is there. Okay, suppose we'll comment out it. Now let's see. Okay, see our last child is working because the last child is our paragraph. Okay, suppose it can be also the same thing like when we suppose type h1, when we give a h1 of the paragraph. Okay, suppose you have given here we have applied first child on paragraph, and here I am giving the h1 as first child and then these p elements. Okay, suppose let's save it and see our first child will work or not. See our first child property is not working anymore. Okay, so you have to keep in mind that the first child of this particular paragraph, okay, first child should be paragraph. Okay, here heading comes, h1 comes here on top. Okay, so our p is not a first child. Okay, when p will be first child, then only this property will work, p first child. Okay, suppose can also write it as nth child. Okay, see this one, nth child. You can also mention as even. We'll comment out this. We'll remove this. We'll suppose give p and nth child to even. Means we are targeting only the even ones. Okay, so 2, 4, 6. You see here we'll remove this. See, well, notice one thing. Here we are targeting the even child. Okay, second, fourth, but at the fourth position, this a tag is coming. Okay, so our this even will not work. Okay, this even ns child even will not work. Okay, so we have to comment out this. And now let's see. See, now this is our even child. Okay, first, second, and fourth. Okay, we can also do the same as change it to odd. Okay, we can also change to odd. Then first and third child will be of light shade green. So you can also do like this. You can also see various properties like here. See, active. Here, various properties are there. First child, first of type, post. Okay, last child, nth child, nth last child. All properties are present here. So you can various selectors are there. Suppose we'll go on to our CSS selectors. Suppose we'll go on to this. See, various selectors are present. See, these many selectors are present. Okay. So this dot class we have studied. We are targeting the class bytes. We are targeting the class by dot. Okay. See, selects all elements with class equals to intro. Means here when we target the intro class, we are providing a dot. Okay. Then here it is written selects all elements with both name1 and name2 set within its class attribute. Suppose we'll this will test in this. Okay, suppose here class is given. Okay, this intro class we are targeting this div. Okay, div class equals to intro. So our both the p's are selected here, and here we have given p class equals to intro. Okay, so this one is selected. Okay, second is we can target the id bytes id bytes by hash. Okay, like we have done here. We have done several times. Haven't done here. Okay, suppose if we haven't done here, we are targeting the id by hash name by hash, and we are targeting the class by dot. Okay, you have to keep in mind this selector means that we select all the elements that are inside the html page. See here, when we click on it, see this means we select all the our all our body, means all our html document. Okay, suppose your background color is yellow. Suppose I will change the color to yellow only. Okay, so it will target all the elements that are present inside that html document. Okay, this means generally it will select all the documents. Okay, now this we can target by its tag name. Okay, t. Okay, element name we can target. We'll select p and then we style it. Then here we can also do this like this. We can target p and then like separate intro class like we have done here. See here we have done like we have targeted the dot para class, and then we have selected a p. In dot para class we have selected a p like this. Here it is also mentioned. Suppose I will show you. See here our paragraph is there. Okay, our paragraph is there. Then dot intro means that I will give you a description of this. Okay, see, it selects and style every p element with the class intro. Means like the class intro has this background color yellow. Okay, suppose we'll remove this. See, our paragraph is only not working here. The styling is applied to our div also because it has also the class intro. Okay, if we want to separate it, like we have given one class name to two different elements. Okay, so we can target it like this. We can target the p, and we can also mention the class name. Okay, so we can separate it like this. So this will be now selected. Okay, you have targeted the p, and then which p that has class intro. Okay, so we are targeting the element and then by class name. Okay, this we have done, but it means that it targets all the h1 and p elements. We can also separate it by comma. Okay, see, all the h1 and the all p elements. We can also mention here, like we give h1 only, it will target only h1 tag. Okay, we can separate it by, like we have to start target div also. So we can give all the element names or tag names separating by a comma. Okay, so we'll do this. It will select all the elements. Okay, so you can differentiate the tags by comma. Okay, it will select all the elements. These I have told you, this tag, this tag, this selector I have told you, when there is a space between two, when there is a like greater than sign, when there is a plus, then when there is this sign. Okay, see, we can also target it by its attribute name. Okay, like we are targeting this here. Suppose different, like here target equals to blank, and here it is given target equals to top. Target equals to blank means it will, this link will open in a new window, new tab or window, and this will open in our whole browser or window. So suppose three links are present, we have to only target this one. Okay, so we'll only target like a, and then we'll provide that. Suppose write the target name. Okay, suppose we want to target this blank. Okay, we want to target this link which has the target blank. Okay, so we'll write like this. We'll target by a, and then we'll provide a square bracket, and then we'll mention the target name. Okay, suppose we'll run it. Okay, sorry, it will select only the target attribute. Sorry, really sorry. Here it will only target the target, means the link which will, where target is provided, only those links it will select. Okay, suppose here like this link, this upper link, this upper link is not provided any target, so it will not select this link. When we hit link, hit run, then it will target only those links which has a target property. Okay, it will not target this first link. Okay, so that is the use of this target selector, this big bracket selector. Okay, we can mention the attribute name here. Okay, A and then big bracket and then here is the attribute. Here we can also select bytes like I've told you. We can also select by target equals to blank or target equals to top. You can separate the this, like you can also mention here you have we have selected this target equals to blank. Okay, so we have selected this link only, second link only. In previous example we have selected both the links by providing the attribute as target only. Those links on which have target property, only that link will be selected. But in this case, we are differentiating by the target value. Okay. If we change it to top, it will select the third link. See. Okay. So you can also differentiate by the target or by its target value. Okay. Like here, you can also select by its like when we provide a like language name. Okay, so here you can also select like this, like lang equals to en, so it will select all the en selectors. Okay, en elements. Okay, this is not used, it is used in rare cases. Okay, here what it means that like when we like this one. Okay, here we have target equals to, and then we have attribute, this we have done, this we have done, we don't do this. Okay, like this means that when we are providing the title to any particular element, it will only select that title and provide that styling to that title. Okay, that element which has a title is equals to flower, like this. Suppose here we have given the title to all our images. Okay, but we have to select only this flowers. Okay, so we have given this flower a border of 5 pixels solid yellow. Okay, so here, sorry, this flower. Okay, so it has been provided a class as flower, so it will select this flower class. Okay, flower title. Okay, here we are targeting by its title. Okay, so we'll give the title is equals to flower. So this selector here, like our selector. Okay, this here it is used to like we can select all the elements. Okay, that here we have targeted the href. Okay, when we are selecting the href property, okay, the value should start with https. This here selector means the value should start with https, and here this dollar sign means the href value should be ending with this class pdf dot pdf. Okay, let's go deep into it. Okay, see here what it is written, set a back. This means that like here we are selecting the div. Okay, so 4 divs are present. Okay, in these 4 divs we have to mention class, and this means that it should start with test. Okay, so we have to select a div which in which the class name is starting from test. Okay, so we have 4 divs. Yeah, we have 4 divs. So in this you have to look that the class name should start with test. Okay, so this div is starting with test, this, and this div is starting with test. This class is starting with test. Okay, so these two background colors have changed. Okay, and not any another div or paragraph has changed. Okay, so this selector means that the value should start with like any value here what it is given. Okay, and this dollar sign means the value should the end with like particular this class name. Okay, like here we have given we are we have target div, so three divs are present. Okay, and the class should end with test means class name should end with test. This is the sign of ending. Okay, so which in which class in which div the class is ending with test, this. Okay, this div and this div. Okay, first and third. So here first and third elements have changed the background color. Okay, so you have to keep these selectors in mind. Okay, this means that it will select all the href attributes that contains this string w3 school string. Okay. This asterisk value means all the values. Okay, here suppose we are selecting div. Okay, three divs are present. Okay, three divs are present. Here we have to target all the elements. Okay, all the elements, all the class elements that are starting with class names that are starting with test. Okay, all the class names that are starting with test, and it has to be a div. Okay, so here test is there, here test is there. Okay, here also test is there, but it is a p, so it neglected. So in three divs we only have class names as test in first and second div. So our first and second div has changed the background color. Okay, let me clear all these tabs. Then I've told you about active link. Okay, this is a pseudo selector. You can use it with like this, where when the link is active, it will show the background color of yellow. Okay, suppose when we click it, the color you have seen the color changes to background color changes to yellow. That is the use of active pseudo selector. Then comes after. After means something like we are mentioning something after paragraph. So we will have to mention the after selector. Suppose see, we want to put this text after the paragraph. Okay. See, after paragraph, my name is Donald. We have to give a content and we have to mention that string that we have to put it after that p tag. Okay, so here it is selecting all the three paragraphs. Okay, so we have to mention, keep in mind that there is two colons. Okay, one more is there, one more pseudo selector is there. Here it is before. In both of these semi two colons are present before and after. See, this is opposite. Okay, it will be placed before the paragraph, and this when we will change it to after, it will be placed after the paragraph. Okay, simple. Then here see before and after. Okay, then there is checked input means checked selector. Okay, what it does, like when suppose checked input are there, it only applies the this styling only applies to the checked input where we have provided the checked property. Okay, suppose we'll remove this checked property. Okay, and now we'll see our styling has now changed because we have removed the checked property to from value from this input type, first input type, main input type. Okay, now let's refresh it and see. Here we have mentioned the checked property, so its styling has changed, height to 50 pixel and width to 50 pixel. Okay, here we haven't mentioned the checked property, so it is by default. The styling property is default. Okay, so these are the selectors. Various selectors are there. It is the default selector. You can like input default. See, here we have mentioned the box shadow as 1 pixel. Like we have mentioned the styling property of input. See, all the inputs by default means that when we are putting some like this is the in this case this is the default option. Okay, this is not the default option. See here all the see the default selector selects the default form element in a group of related elements. Okay, means that here the default value is this. Okay, so the styling property will be applied to this option only. Okay, suppose we'll apply the color to see here. Sorry, I will replace this. See this default value here is male. Okay, so a box shadow is present on this input type. Okay, so what is selected that suppose we can also give by default this male option, this input first input is also always selected. Okay, so our styling property is applied in this first input box. Okay, so that is the use of default. Means the default value will be there in only those uh, the elements which have default values. Only the styling property will be applied to only those default elements. Okay, now there is a disabled selector. Okay, the only those inputs are selected which are disabled. Okay, suppose we are giving here suppose see here we have given this input as disabled. Okay, so only the this disabled input will be applied this background color. Okay, the yellow background color is not added onto this disabled input. Okay, so when we are providing the disabled property, only those elements will be given this styling. Okay, because we have given this disabled selector, and we can also give the enabled selector here. Okay, both selectors are present. Okay, enabled are these when we don't mention the disabled property, the default is enabled. Okay, so we can also design it like this. We can mention the enabled selector and give the styling property. Okay, then comes first child. First child I have told you. Then comes first letter. Okay, see in this first letter you have to give two semicolons. Sorry, two colons. Okay, first letter means like this. Here we are targeting only the first letter. Okay, so we are targeting P and every P tag P tags first letter. Okay, so it is targeting all the first letters of all the paragraphs. Okay, the same way here we are getting first line. Okay, so it will select all the first lines of the paragraph. Okay, see here is the first line of the paragraph. Here is the first line of the paragraph, and this is the first line of the paragraph. So the background color has changed to yellow. Okay. Now comes first of type. First of type means like it will select only the parent element. Okay, like suppose here you can see it is like first child. Okay, it will only be selected if this will be inside a parent element. Like see what is present here, specify a background color for the first p element of its parent. Okay, so this is the child element of its parent. Okay, this p tag. Okay, so only the first element is selected. Okay. Here is focus. We want to focus onto the particular input, so we give this like this we give this property, this selector input, and we want to suppose give a focus on suppose both the inputs. Suppose see when we click onto this input, see the background color changes to yellow. Here we are targeting both the inputs. Okay, so here we are targeting both the inputs. If we click on this, background color changes to yellow. It is this focus selector is used for focusing on the input box. Okay, so we are providing this focus selector on both the inputs. Here we have discussed about hover when we like when we are placing the cursor onto this link. See the color changes to light green. Okay, so this is the hover selector. In range selector means like suppose I'll give you the example. Here we have given minimum equals to 5 and maximum equals to 10. Okay, and here we have given suppose we'll omit it and suppose we will give like 11. See, our border is not present now because we have given like here maximum value is 10, so we have given 11. Okay, if the value is in range is in between 5 to 10, only then the border will turn to yellow. Okay, means this styling will be applied only when the value will be in range. Suppose we'll give a 7. Okay, see now the input box has a border of 2 pixels solid yellow. Okay, so the value should be in range, only then the this input box will change the border. Okay. Indeterminate means like indeterminate inputs. Suppose here we are manually changing the checkbox to indeterminate. Okay, here when we are in this form, okay, we are in indeterminate form. Okay, suppose when we click onto this, see our box shadow has now gone because it is not now it is not on in indeterminate form. Okay, when we click run, okay, now it is in indeterminate form. We have changed manually. See here we have written checkbox dot indeterminate equals to true. Okay. So we have manually changed the checkbox to indeterminate. So we can also change the styling property of like when it is in indeterminate form, we can change the styling. Here like invalid is also there. If we have invalid value, it will select all the invalid inputs. Okay, blank is also there. So here is last child and last of type. Like I have given first of type, I have explained this is the last of type, means it will only select the last element if it is a child element of this paragraph. Okay, if it will not be a child element, it will not select this line. Okay, the condition is it should have the direct, it should be the direct child element of this paragraph. Okay, then only this styling will be applied. Okay. Here see, here it has given nth last child. Here n is like which place. Okay, suppose uh, suppose nth child. Here suppose it will take this, like suppose we want to give this last child. So we'll take the example of this. Okay, it will select the last child of paragraph, second last child of the paragraph. Here we are putting the, here we are putting 2, means it will select the second last child. See here, when we are entering into this, see the background color has changed to red of the second last child. Okay, here is the last child, here is the second last child. Okay, suppose we'll remove this and run. See, the second last child is now targeted. Okay, the background color red has changed of this second last element. Okay, same is also there, like in this last child I have explained, last of type also explained. See, comes link. This link means refers to the unvisited link. It only style the unvisited links. Okay, suppose see we haven't entered this link, so the background color is now yellow. Suppose we'll enter it. Okay, now it hasn't changed any color. Okay, but it is on. It refers to the, you mentioned the color yellow. What it does, like when we, suppose when we create a link. Okay, if we provide this link, okay, this selector a colon link, it will style all the unvisited links. When the link will be unvisited, this styling will be applied. If only once the link is visited, it will not be applied. This styling property will not be applied to this link. Okay, it is only for unvisited links. Okay, this is the not selector. Suppose you don't have to select, like you don't have to select p. Okay, so you put a colon, okay, not, and then give the particular tag name. Okay, see here we don't want to target the p. Okay, there is, the p is not targeted. Okay, so we have not targeted the p, so we have given colon not, and then we have mentioned p. This color is red. Okay, so all the headings, divs and links are now changed to red color except the paragraph. Okay, so this is the use of this not selector. Then we have explained nth child, nth last child, nth last of type, nth of type. Okay, all are likewise same. Okay, you can study, various selectors are there. Okay, suppose only child, I'll explain the only child. Okay, suppose here only child means like when we are targeting p. Okay, so p should be the only child of the parent class. Okay, if it is not the only child, suppose here you can see p is not the only child of this div, span is also the child element. Okay, so it will not select this div. Here the only child is p. Okay, if here the child element of this div is p only. Okay, so it will target this first div only. Okay, so background color has changed to red. And then we have placeholders. Okay, only it will only select the placeholder, only select this only the input values has placeholders. Okay, so only those inputs will be selected which has the placeholder property. Okay, so my net is now slow. It is not opening. So see here. Okay, and let me see here. We have provided the placeholder as first name. Okay, so if we'll not provide this placeholder, okay, because we'll not provide this property placeholder. See, will not provide any placeholder, so our color will not be red. Okay, here when we are providing the like placeholder, only then our placeholder colors is like you can also add a background color here. Background color red. More understanding. Okay. Suppose I'll remove the placeholder property. Suppose I've removed it, and now look, suppose I've given it. Okay. So the background color is now red. Okay, when we are removing the placeholder property, background color is now not present. Okay, so this is the use of placeholder. See here you also have to give two colons. Okay, one more thing. See here for supporting edge you have to use this WebKit hash WebKit hash input placeholder. Okay, for supporting in Internet Explorer 10 to 11 you have to use -ms. Okay, these are some of the keywords to like support Internet Explorer or Edge different browsers. Okay, if you will not put this that attribute or that selector will not be uh, will not work on that selector browser. Okay, Internet Explorer. Okay, so this is the required. Okay, required means like see here when we give the required property, only inputs which are given the required property, only that input will be selected. See here in this our we haven't given the required property to this input. Okay, so only this second input is changing the background color to yellow. Okay, so there are various. You can also uh, like visited link. I've like told you, visited link will change the color to pink. Okay, one is unvisited link that is denoted by only here. We'll write link that is unvisited link, and here we are providing the visited link like this selector visited selector. Okay, suppose here you can also use read only property. Okay, suppose like what is read only property? See, when we are mentioning read only property, okay, what is the use of this read only property? When we are providing this property, see, you can only read this input. Okay, you can't edit this, but in normal input, see, you can edit and write your own text, but when you are giving this read only property, you will not able to edit it. Okay, so this is the read only property. Here the input box which have read only property will be given a background color to yellow, so this input box is selected. Okay, so there are many like you have to go through all of the selectors. Okay, I've covered almost all the selectors. Okay, so you have to study and go deeper on every selector, and you have to practice every selector. Okay, then only you will get grasp. Okay, so for today I will be ending your lecture here only. Okay.